What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Off the Top Rope, off the Mike Sports Network. I've been waiting on this for most of the weekend. It's been a busy weekend, a lot of football, a lot of other stories going on. But shockingly, the big story in professional wrestling is not about something AEW did. It's not about something going on storyline wise as we head into one of the biggest professional wrestling weekends of the entire year on Saturday with WrestlePalooza and All Out going head to head. The big story is Andrade, who I'd say about 18, about 20 or so months, 18, 20 or so months. He came back in January of last year at the Royal Rumble. He's gone from WWE. Out of nowhere, this came about. He was just moved to the alumni section, a lot of investigating from Fightful and Wrestling Observer, PW Insider, Bodyslam.net, all of these outlets. Andrade's gone from WWE. And people were running around like chickens with their heads cut off trying to get the full scoop of what's happened. And I'm glad I've gotten a chance to sit on this for a day or so in terms of what happened here. Because listen, I got the utmost respect for Andrade. I think in my eyes, he's got one of the best moves in professional wrestling. That spinning back elbow hurts me every time I watch it. The guy is a phenomenal worker. The double moonsault that he does, in terms of the in-ring work, this guy is great. But let's face it, there's been a language barrier issue. His promos haven't necessarily been great. And what perplexed me the most is WWE's strategy of booking this guy. Because in my eyes, this guy should have firmly, at least if not won the United States Championship, he should have been in the picture for it a lot longer than he was. And then he formed this incredible tag team with Rey Fenix, and it sounds like the reports were Creative had them facing the Wyatt Six at Clash in Paris, potentially winning the tag team titles, which would have been something. And the last time we saw him on television was that incredible TLC match at SummerSlam last month. But we haven't seen him since, and there's a lot of reporting that's come out. Because listen, first of all, a couple things can be true here. WWE absolutely failed Andrade. They did. The guy is incredibly talented, and, he could have been put in better positions to be successful. But the other thing can be true that's been revealed by a lot of information that's come out. Andrade failed Andrade. That's the reality of the situation. This guy apparently failed a wellness test and was suspended without pay. He had to be escorted out of the building as a result of his recent suspension. There was a lot of rumors going around about that Andrade, they tried to get in touch with him, WWE did, and he ghosted them. Some of this might have been creative influence. Some of this might have also been related to, he went back there to be with his wife. Him and Charlotte divorced. So here's the situation here. Andrade, there's clearly an issue here. WWE could have made it work. But the fact that he's gone this quickly shows you something went way more wrong than WWE was willing to deal with. And yes, I'll be the first to tell you guys that I think TKO and WWE and the way that they have done business, the Karrion Kross situation could have been handled a lot better. The R-Truth situation really, in hindsight, is kind of embarrassing given, they released him and then they brought him back and then actually said that he was part of the storyline. That was a joke. R-Truth came out there, made jokes with Brock Lesnar, which was embarrassing. It was a funny segment, but didn't make R-Truth look very good, considering how he was brought back in, completely the whole John Cena element. It was ridiculous. That was not a work. You'd be smarter than that. But with Andrade, it's different because there was no inkling really that we had gotten until Saturday when the news came out that he was gone, that something was wrong here. And to hear that there was a wellness violation, and people will say, well, everybody's, doing something weird. Like AJ Styles looked jacked out of his mind. Randy Orton is 290 pounds now. He looks completely jacked out of his mind. Most of these guys, the wellness aspect of this. But the part that gets me is you're getting called by WWE for creative and you're not answering. That's a red flag. And listen, he didn't like some of his creative and he was sidelined a little bit in AEW. He may go back there. But if you're any promotion right now and you're seeing how some of this information's come out that he ghosted WWE, that he got suspended, and, listen, if you're going to be a problem, you have to be worth it in order for, and this goes for any form of athletic competition, whether it be football, basketball, baseball. If you're going to be a problem child, which it's clearly that Andrade is, you have to make yourself worthwhile as a character or as a wrestler. Andrade is an exceptional wrestler, but as a character, there has been nothing there. Even when he was back with WWE the first time. I will say this. One thing that WWE absolutely fucking failed, and I have no earthly idea why they didn't do this at all. I think some of it was maybe Zelina Vega wanted to be a full-time wrestler, and she's good at what she does. She's very talented. But you saw she got rewarded with the United States Championship run. It was not very good. It was not very well booked, but it wasn't very good. I have no earthly idea why Andrade and Zelina Vega were not paired back up together. That was the best run of either of their careers. When they were paired in NXT, when they were paired on the main roster, Zelina as a manager and Andrade as the talent, that was money. And that was the perfect marriage. And that could have potentially rescued Andrade. So WWE is absolutely culpable for how they managed this as well. But my whole point is, if you're Andrade and you're WWE in this situation, if you're looking at this from 34,000 feet, if you're going to be a problem with your employer, you have to show more value than is worth. So if you're a headache, you have to be willing to live with it. And clearly, based off of the way WWE was handling this, they didn't see that much value in Andrade to deal with what was going on behind the scenes. Andrade had an issue in AEW. He fought Sammy Guevara backstage and got sent home. They left on fair terms. I could totally see Tony Khan bringing him in, but are you going to use him? Because if you're not going to use him and he's just going to drown out in the pack, he's probably going to stay. He's probably going to just be a squatter and just stay there too. I think he's a talented guy, man. Like I love, the way that he comes out, his presence and, the way, but in terms of a character outside of the wrestling, there's not much there. And clearly WWE realized that, hey, if this guy's going to fuck around with us and not be happy with our creative, whether it's good or not, you signed up for this shit, man. Show up to work. If you're going to ghost people when you're getting paid money by WWE, they're not going to fuck around with that. So, like I said, both these sides, this is such a weird issue because, like I said, I think the world of Andrade, I think he is an incredibly talented performer. But it takes two to tango. Yeah, WWE wasn't great with his creative, but still, show up to work. And you had an opportunity potentially to win the tag team titles. You had something really good going with Rey Fenix, whether it was thrown together or not. That was a really compelling group that was going on there, and you guys were connecting with the audience. But Andrade didn't want to see it through. It led to alterations in creative plans. That's why Rey Fenix faced Sami Zayn. That's why that tag team's kind of been dropped. We'll see if Rey Fenix gets paired up with his brother Penta again, which should happen. But yeah, this was a truly bizarre story because, like I said, I see fault in both sides on this issue. I think WWE could have done way better with what they did with Andrade in the, nearly 2 years that he was there. And I also think that Andrade could have been a better employee, and maybe this wouldn't have ended as ugly as it did. It's unfortunate, but, this is business, man. If you're not going to show up to work, man, and you're going to ghost your employer, they're going to fire you. That's really insubordination. Really, you can't just not ghost your employer and just tell them basically to fuck off by not using any of your words. So. Listen, we'll see where he ends up, man. Some people have said TNA. I don't really necessarily know if that's realistic because, WWE kind of has a role with that. A lot of people have also hinted that maybe part of the reason why Andrade might have been dissatisfied is the AAA partnership, which is weird. Um, I figured that'd be a good opportunity for him to showcase himself, but it's really just a bizarre situation, man, that played out over the weekend at WWE. Anyway, thanks so much for watching, everybody. I'll see you guys soon. Bye bye.